What's going on, guys? So I'm gonna try to make this video as compact as possible because I know I talk a lot and I just wanna get a lot of information across. So basically I was able to get a hold of my friend Edmund. He was able to come over today and we were finally able to take off the cylinder head off the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Well, let me get started actually with this, and then I'll explain more what happened. So if we flip this over, so here you can see that this is the combustion chamber right here, and these are your exhaust valves, these are your intake valves. Now, an easy way to check once you have the cylinder head off the car to see if these valves are leaking, take a brake cleaner fluid or brake fluid and send it through, fill it up these in the intake and also exhaust holes. And if you see any liquid seep through, even if it's a little bit, you know that you have a slightly bent valve, and I'm pretty sure you could tell if you have a cracked valve. But that's just an easy test on both sides to tell whether you have any bent valves. The head gasket on the car was completely fine. So the head, fine. The head gasket, fine. Now, leading on to the short block of the car, the cylinder block, the fourth piston had a hole. Now, remember, I got a code for random cylinder misfire. Now, it was the spark plug, so I don't know why we didn't check before testing the car. I mean, I don't know why my friend didn't say, oh, let's check your spark plugs. But the fourth spark plug ended up fouling on it, or fouling on the engine. And when we drove it, basically here's all this fuel coming, and well, it's not going anywhere. It's just, it has nowhere to, it's not sparking, so it's just staying there. But I'm not gonna spill enough information. I do have pictures where I'll explain more. So let's get to that. So in this picture, you can see that there is a discrepancy right where that little dent is in the piston. This is cylinder 4 with the piston damage and also cylinder wall damage. Now, I wasn't able to get a picture of the cylinder wall damage because it's not like a scratch or anything, but it is quite like a little dent from the detonation or explosion inside the combustion chamber. Now, when a spark plug fails on you, and it's not igniting the fuel, basically the heat from the, here's a better picture. The heat from the engine will ignite that fuel and cause detonation, but it's an offset in detonation, so the explosion does not happen in the center and doesn't equally go across the piston. Instead, it ignites closer to the walls or anywhere really and can cause such damage. Now, it didn't, and with all the things happening, like the bad spark plug, it was time for an oil change, and so the bad tune, just that combination did not go out well with the car. But basically, that was a problem with the engine. Happened with the cylinder. Now, getting into my future plans, remember how I was talking about, oh, I'm going to build the engine and stuff like that? Well, I don't really have time to waste with waiting for it to be built and going through the whole plans and stuff. Now, people are going to judge me. They can say what they want when they hear this information. I looked at new engines. There's a place in Florida, Daytona, Mitsubishi, and Kia. Daytona Beach. It's not the one close where I am. Oh no, that's Dunedin. I'm sorry. Daytona is on the other side of Florida, kind of closer to Fort Myers, that area. And they sell brand new crate engines. So crate, like fresh out of the box, plastic wrap all around it. And they actually sell them for not bad. Like, it does not come with the turbocharger, flywheel, a pressure plate, or the clutch. My car is still new, so yeah, the clutch is good, the pressure plate's good, I have all that stuff. Turbocharger, boom. take it off of that one or buy a new one, which won't be for a while, but rather just use a stock one. But the intake manifold, exhaust manifold, pretty much it's all a long block, and that's not bad. The price came out to $4,700. Now I'm going to see if I can say, hey, can we get rid of the intake manifold and exhaust manifold? See if I can get some price reduction from that, just so I can put the engine in the car faster. Now, another thing, yeah, I wanted to build the engine, but like I said, I don't have time to wait. I did the math, okay? So I did my math. It would cost more to, because now think of it, if there's that cylinder wall damage, it's going to cost money to get the sleeves. I think for Darton sleeves, top of the line iron cast iron sleeves, $900 for the set. So $900, and then on top of that, about maybe $1,000 to $1,200 labor and all that stuff just to get it all back in the car, getting it honed, bored, what's the other thing? Pressure washed, all that stuff. It has to be clean. So it's just such a long process, and there's just a lot of, there is a lot of work into building an engine and stuff like that. And I mean, like, we think about this, like, the intake head, people are going to say, well, if this is completely fine, why don't you just buy a short block? The short block, Daytona Mitsubishi sells just the short block as well. $2,700 on, and I mean, $2,700, that's like, okay, let's just, here, I'll pick this up again and we'll look at it. Okay, so under your cylinder head, okay, there's like little, not indent, but like, just like, this engine, the engine rubber in between to keep it nice and flush and to keep it together, like the pacing and stuff like that. They would have to clean this whole thing, take it to the machine shop, and grind everything and file it down so it could fit onto that new one. Did the math again, it's still almost coming out to the same amount of a new engine. So I'm planning to take out this old engine, build this one on the side, and have a brand new engine in my car. Like I said, people can judge and say what they want, but this is my decision, it's my car, this is what I'm gonna do. Taking out that old engine, I can easily build it on the side, putting in the new parts. As far as goes the new engine, it's brand new. We're like 0 miles on it, straight out of the factory. The car's gonna run like at the, on top of that with the tune, it kind of had, like I said, the oil and the bad spark plug in the tune, that mix just did not go together well. I'm not saying that it just wasn't a good mix. Like I said, the bad oil, the spark plug was completely lost, and the tune, way too much of RPM. It was just putting way too much stress on the engine. It was just like, I'm done. So with this new engine, of course, I'm going to keep up on maintenance, like precise 1,500 mile oil changes, just to make sure the engine is clean and running at its peak. Obviously this is super clean, and like I said, no problems, but except for that cylinder and the piston, but pretty much the car will be running at its peak. And I don't know if you guys know 370Z for me, his YouTube channel, he has 668 wheel horsepower with stock short block, and everything stock on the car. So not everything, I'm sorry. The engine has stock internals. So 668 horsepower, that is a lot for a stock Evo X. So it was kind of crazy saying like, car was sitting at 345 horsepower and the engine already went. If I can reach 600 horsepower or more than that, close to 650 horsepower with the stock engine, I might as well go for it, because and like I said, people can say what they want, but I'd rather go with building this new engine, and you know what, probably building that one, adding a bigger turbo, and putting the stuff on it that can really build power, and just keeping this one the way it is. I don't know, like, I'm still thinking about it, but it's like I'm pretty sure I'll have my head straight later on. I'm just spitting out ideas for right now, but we will see what happens, and that's where I'm at right now. I will give you guys some updates down the road, like if I found some information or cheaper parts, or just anything I can do differently. But I do plan on buying an access port, just because my friend tuned his own Evo. He has no problems. I guess he knows what he's doing, so I trust him enough because he's the one that helped me with taking apart my engine. He knows the Evos a lot very well, so I'm just gonna leave it in his hands to deal with all that. So that's just a quick update. Oh, and actually my friend, I have pictures of his Evo, which I will post now, which you'll see, because I know I did say I would show it, but his Evo is sick as heck, and I definitely want to get mine similar and see what happens with that. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you again for all the likes and support comments I'm getting. Please keep subscribing. Tell other people about this stuff. If you have any questions, now that I took apart my engine, I can pretty much answer like anything that's involved with internal wise, because I've seen it all pretty much. Besides a rod going through the oil pan, well, let's hope that never happens. But I mean, seeing the pistons and like the cylinder wall damage, I mean, it's pretty interesting seeing like these working parts that some people never see in their lifetime, but like I'm experiencing this at like such a young age. It's so cool seeing how an engine works. So like I said, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, please just hit me up, message me. Please follow me on Instagram, Time to Tune, same as my YouTube. I post a lot of car stuff on there as well, some updates. But other than that, thank you guys, and I'll keep you guys up to date.